Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jonah from Discover, and today we are going to be talking to Haley. You may know her as Mrs. Dow Jones. How are you doing, Haley?
Oh, I'm fabulous. This is dream come true.
Yeah, we are so excited to have you. Can't wait to dive in. We're going to be talking about so many cool things, but before we get going, I want to do my little spiel, just make sure everyone can hear and see us all right. So please pop in the comments, let us know you can see and hear us. Let us know maybe where you heard about Haley, where you heard about Discover, something you're excited to learn today, something you have already learned from Haley in the past, or feel free to use those comments as just a discussion place. We will be trying to answer questions during the presentation if they're really pertinent, but if we ignore you, we're not ignoring you. We have a dedicated Q&A after the presentation, so we'll get to all those questions at the end. And if life happens around you, you have to get up, Haley's moving fast, the dog comes in the room, don't fret about any of that. We do have a replay available. It will be in the YouTube. It'll be on the Discover page. It'll also be emailed to you along with the replay, so nothing will be lost. Want to call out, we have a couple people tuning in. Heck yes, financial freedom. Love it. So, properly introduce the event. Like I said, we are talking to Haley Sachs today, or Mrs. Dow Jones, about finance is cool. First steps to mastery your finances. We're going to learn how to master the financial basics so that we have a firm foundation to build our own wealth. Little background, Haley created the financial media company Finance is Cool in 2017 so she could learn about money. She was bored by the overly serious content available, but eager to be financially fit. So she took matters into her own hands and decided to make finance cool for the masses. Now, I don't want to take up any more time, and I want to hand it over to you, Haley, so we can dive in.
Well, thank you, Jonah, for that sterling introduction. And if you guys are here watching this, get your asses in the comments because I have no idea who's here and who's not here. So say hi. Let me know what's up, what you had for lunch, how your day's going. Let's boogie. So first of all, I'm so excited that you guys are here. I think it's an amazing step on, this second Tuesday or Wednesday of the new year to be talking about financial adulting and money management, which really are two of my favorite topics because if you know me, then you know that I am all about making you rich and getting you to grow wealth by investing. But we can't do that until we have our personal finances really together and properly managed. So that's why I created my course with Teachable, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, to give you those basics, give you everything that you need before you take those steps to start growing your wealth in the market. And today, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the absolute first step to taking control of your money, which is, spoiler alert, taking a free trip to Ibiza. You know I got you. So yeah, Jonah, hit me. Let's go to the first slide. Well, that's me. So you guys know that. Me, finance is cool, stay rich, bitch. So I'm Haley Sachs, aka Mrs. Dow Jones. So like I said, today you're going to learn how to manage your money. And I want you to know if I can do it, you can do it. I don't know why, but people always assume that like I came out of the womb of financial pop star, but that is could not be further from the truth. Like I was not one of those 8-year-olds like investing the money that I made in my lemonade stand or hustling Girl Scout cookies, which is really just an MLM. Like, guys, it's Girl Scout cookies season right now, and we need to talk about the fact that it's an MLM, but that's like a different slideshow. We can talk about that another time. But yeah, that was never me. I spent the first 25 years of my life just feeling really insecure and shameful about money. I spent a ton of money to keep up with the Joneses, to keep up with appearances. I never thought about the future. I always thought that I would have a windfall or someone would take care of me. like most people, I was never taught how to do any of this. So I just lived paycheck to paycheck and felt a lot of shame and anxiety and sort of just hoped magically things would, get better. Next slide. So yeah, raise your hand. I'm going to raise mine. Raise your hand if you've been personally victimized by a lack of financial literacy. I'm raising my hand. That is 100% what happened to me and what happens to most of us. And then, yes, enter me. So, the first thing that I want to say is like, do yourself a favor, do me a favor, and stop blaming yourself because the same way that no one taught me about money, probably no one taught you. And like, that's just not our fault. Financial literacy is not something that you're born with. You have to gain it and you have to build it. And that starts with finding the right teacher. And that's why I do what I do. That's why we're here today. And I really hope that my lessons and my content help you feel more secure in your financial journey because money is ultimately an amazing tool and it empowers you to live the life that you want. And I know that with the right knowledge and ambition, you can live however you please. You can do whatever you want. I really believe in you, and I've seen it happen with tens of thousands of my followers turn their lives around. And so I know that you're next, and I'm here to help you. So let's go to the next slide. Wonderful. Yes. So it's basically what I just said. But yeah, I'm super grateful to Teachable for having me. Um, I started Mrs. Dow Jones to help us all, and I saw my own life change, and I've made it my life's work to help others change their lives too. So, whatever, let's start changing yours. Enough with like all this, intro stuff. You guys hopefully know me, you get the vibe. Let's go through our game plan. We're obviously going to kiss on both cheeks because we are French. Yes, emotionally, Emily in Paris. Okay, renewed for 4 seasons. Not to brag. Who asked for it? No one, not me. Then we're going to take a free trip to Ibiza. Yes. No passport needed. Don't forget about packing. I've got you. I have everything that you need to make that vacation super memorable. And then you're going to get some amazing free resources so that after this webinar, you are able to take all the knowledge that you got and actually use it to grow wealth and to take control of your money because knowledge is one thing, but we got to put it into action. And that's what you're going to do once this is over. Pinky swear, high five, throw me a thumbs up. You got this. Okay, let's go to Ibiza. So Ibiza is, yes, a fun, fabulous island in Spain that Lindsay Lohan loves to dance at, and that we all, see people going into debt to visit in the summer. But it's also my 5-step money management program. Each of the letters is a step, it is an acronym. And the reason that going to Ibiza is the first step in my process of teaching you how to take control of your money, how to get financially independent, how to grow wealth, is that if your mindset is not there, if you're not fully on board with this goal, then things are just never really going to happen. We got to get you emotionally prepared for all of the wonderful changes that you're about to make, and that your mindset really is a key player in your financial success. So this is the first step in your journey, and let's go through it. So I just stands for identify. So I don't know what happened with you when you were growing up or where you're at right now, but I feel like we've all been taught a lot of beliefs about money, limiting beliefs about money. And so it's really up to us to identify those so that we can actually move past them. Like maybe you don't believe it's okay to want more, or that like you ever could get a raise, or like that like owning a house is something that like is possible for you. We tell ourselves all these stories, and really none of them are true. They're just tales in our head. So what is holding you back? That's what we've got to identify first before we even touch a bank statement. We even look at an account summary. If you feel comfortable, share them with us in the comments because I guarantee, and I've seen it so many times, however you're feeling, someone else feels that way too. So yeah, the first thing you want to do is identify, try and figure out what stories are you telling yourself in your head about money that are holding you back. We got to name them, name the triggers. So then B stands for Begin Again, which does sound like a Ryan Reynolds film. Probably was. I should look it up later on Netflix. Yes, I pay for a subscription, not to brag. But yeah, I think when we're trying to make changes with our finances, it's so easy to like pretend that we're like in Legally Blonde and make a case against ourselves, like in the court of law. Like, well, you could never be good with money because like you blew that paycheck in 2017 and you like incurred credit card debt after shopping at Victoria's Secret when you were in high school. And like, just know that everyone has financial regrets. We all have paychecks we blew, investments we should have made, debt we incurred. Like, you think I'm not upset I didn't invest in Apple my bat mitzvah money? It haunts me. But then I went to Ibiza and now I'm better. So you're gonna get better too. But yeah, begin again. It's time to start over. I always say pour some natural wine out for all the money that you spent mindlessly and just clear the damn air. Like the past is in the rear view and the future is up to you to write. Really, what happened, happened, but what's going to happen could be anything. And we are programmed already to associate money with guilt, with shame, with embarrassment. And all of this negativity is a huge reason that people put off managing their money in the first place. So we have to free ourselves from the blame that keeps us stuck in the past so that we can cultivate success in the present and in the future. So I'm asking you to forgive yourself. Please forgive yourself. Thank you. Okay. I stands for imagine. And this really bugs me because I feel like before anyone even starts their financial journeys, people are like, "Oh, like what are your financial goals?" And it's like having a financial goal is my financial goal. Like no one tells you how to have a financial goal, what it should be, what's realistic for you. But I think that like the first step really is just imagining, letting yourself imagine what life could be like in like your dream. Like what is your goal? And that doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I want to be on a yacht and I want to like have 10 Ferraris, but like I always say, think about 5 years from now. What do you want your day to feel like? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to have a dog? Do you want to live in a house with a backyard? Are you driving to the supermarket? Do you have a partner? Like, where do you see things heading, and like what makes you excited about the future? Because in order, like I said, in order to accomplish your financial goals, you have to actually have some. But the first step to that is just sort of breaking it down, envisioning what would make you happy, what lifestyle really appeals to you, so that then we can work backwards and create it. I will, of course, provide the tools, but we have to come up with what we're building. And that is really up to you. And if done correctly, this step should be thrilling. Like, I want you to be so excited about your future because I'm so excited about your future. Like, think with abundance, feel it in your whole body. So much is possible for you. It's yours for the taking. Like, dream big. Think about what you want it to look like, and then we can make it happen. So then Z stands for zone in. So now that we have cleared the air and we know sort of what we're working towards, and I've identified our limiting beliefs and we've thought through where we're going. Now we have to get in the zone, auto zone. Hell yeah. Just kidding. I don't own a car. So we can stay focused on achieving them. And if you're like, Haley, how do I get in the zone? Like, how do I stay in the zone? I got you. Like, I know right now, hopefully you're feeling excited and inspired, but like, Obviously, this webinar unfortunately does have an end time, so it's not going to be forever. So, what are ways that you can keep yourself excited about taking control of your finances once this moment is over and consistently? And one of the ways that I always talk about that has been so helpful to people in my community and to myself too is by joining our community. On Facebook, we have a group called the Three Comma Club, and it is filled with future rich people just like you. And I got to tell you, it is so much easier to achieve your goals when you have like minded people beside you. Um, and we also have like a ton of content suggestions, which is fun because we want you to constantly stay inspired, to stay rich, bitch. But yeah, you basically zone in is all about like, how are you going to keep your mindset going, keep this excitement, keep the momentum? So community, I read a ton right now. I don't know where I'm rereading. Where's my book? Oh, all my books are everywhere. I'm rereading Think and Grow Rich. I've read it like, 5 different times. Like I'm always reading different things, trying to fill myself with good information, good vibes, so that I continue to be positive about the future. And I really encourage you to do that too. Um, yeah, we're almost at the end of our vacation. Time flies when you're having fun, you guys. We haven't even had a pina colada yet, but I guess we got to go to A. A stands for act. You probably saw that one coming. But yeah, the only thing that's now that we've worked through your mindset, we've worked through your triggers, the only thing that's really left for you to do here is act, which means yes, now you can actually take financial inventory. So you know your starting point and create a money management system you can use to accomplish these goals. And I know that probably sounds overwhelming and like a big jump from what we were just talking about, but don't worry, it's really not as daunting as it seems. My foundational course that I made with Teachable, Start Here, is a step by step guide. Like when I tell you step by step, it is step by step guide packed with a ton of thought out resources and tips that will help you gain that financial freedom. And the best part is like, I don't know if you can tell, but like I really am so passionate about helping you manage your money, but I also want you to enjoy your life. And so a big part of creating the course for me was trying to help the students find balance. And so we've designed it to only be taken for 20 minutes or less a day. And if you can commit 20 minutes a day to your financial education, doesn't even have to be every day. You could do Monday through Friday, Saturdays and Sundays. I get it. You got to, go have some fun, get a mimosa. Uh, you can build the financial education you need to become your own trust fund. And we have a link in the comments that will help you sign up. It's discounted with that link. Um, and it's really exciting. The course has been a huge success, and the students in it are really enjoying it and seeing huge results. So I'm excited for you. But that's definitely like the first step after Ibiza is just figuring out where you're at, and also like what are your initial money goals that you need to hit before you hit those bigger ones that we thought of. Hi, Sophie from London. Yes. So start here. It's 6 modules, 20 minutes a day. So I know I said that you're going to dream of your own financial goals, but in Start Here, I give you your first 3 initial financial goals because they're the same for all of us. Like we all need to save an emergency fund and pay off high interest rate debt and fund our retirement accounts. So, yeah, and it's go at your own pace, access to great community, and you get my personal finance management system called the Money Book, which is like a magic sheet that literally, like, I can't even explain how great it is. It's my favorite book besides Twilight, which says a lot because once I tricked my mom into letting me stay home from school so that I could read about Bella and Edward, just so you know how much I like Twilight. Yeah. But yeah, that's the deal. That's the money mindset vibe. I hope that helped, and I'm so excited to hear your questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Haley, and everyone. Please start popping your questions into the comments. We have quite a bit of time left here with Haley, so we can ask whatever we want. And also, just so you know, the links for those courses, they're pinned in the comments, they're in the description, and they'll be emailed to you along with the replay. And that discount is only for a limited time, so take advantage of that right now. Uh, Haley, just to get this started, I had a couple questions about the course and then questions just in general. But for the course itself, is there a community as well that you're involved in and a place where you can kind of talk with other people? Because I know that accountability goes a long way with finances.
Yeah, so that's where the 3 Comma Club on Facebook comes in. Uh, Most of our students are part of the 3 Comma Club, and then we also have like all stars just from our community there. And it is this incredible forum of people just talking about money. Obviously, money is like can be uncomfortable for some people to talk about, but it's like this really just safe space where in an open forum that we monitor really closely, where you can get advice and offer tips and get a lot of support and inspiration. And
That's
then
awesome.
also there's comments in the course that we're like always monitoring and looking at.
Yeah. Well, and so kind of leads to a little bit about the course, but also finance in general. I know at first it can seem like maybe getting your finance together is just making more money, but I also know quite a few people who make a ton of money but are just terrible with their finances. Do you find there's a lot of people like that in the community as well? Because I know people can think, "Oh, I make money, I'm fine."
Oh, 100%. I mean, I always say that it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And even like the rich, even like Taylor Swift can't buy everything that she wants, and she's so rich, right? Like you can't, there have to be limits. You have to understand what you value, what actually matters for you to spend money on. And that's something that we talk about a lot in the course. Like, and my teaching method is really holistic and about your mindset so that it doesn't really feel strict as much as you're on your own side. You're on your own team, and we're on your team, and we're rooting for you, and you're rooting for yourself, and you're making decisions that will optimize your future because you believe in your future,
Mm.
instead of just being like, oh no, I can't buy that, I'm on budget, or like, like hating your life because you feel deprived is just, that's not a life that anyone wants to live.
Yeah. And do you get into investing much in the course?
So we talk about investing for retirement. So we talk about IRAs and 401ks and health savings accounts. But my next course, which will be launching at the end of Q2, is Investing 101. So that one will be like my full Monty because I'm so passionate about investing. That's why I started Mrs. Dow Jones. And the hope is that you go from start here to investing, and then you really have like this full financial curriculum and plan so that you feel really in control of your money.
Nice. But by the end of this course, though, you should still have at least some retirement investing set up, know how
Yes.
those systems work, and have something rolling for the long term, right?
Oh, 100%. Like we talk about 401k match. We just don't talk about opening a taxable and brokerage account. Like
Right.
in the Money 101 course, I'm not like, and here's what day trading is. Like,
Right.
but of
Right.
course we're talking about, retirement accounts. That's super important.
Yeah. Well, that was a big thing for me in the last like 2 years, just getting those basic investment accounts, what a high yield savings account is, which I was
Oh,
skeptical about. And then after a year, I was like, I'm so glad I
yeah, it's
once you
amazing.
see
We
the
talk a
interest
lot about this
actually roll
too.
in. Yeah. Um, so just to kind of start the discussion, and again, anyone watching, please feel free to drop any questions you have for Haley in the comments while we have her. But I'm curious on your background a little bit, and I'm sure those who know you probably have a little more of your background, but were you raised financially savvy? Did you figure it out a little later in your life? Like, what was the point where you kind of figured out these basic concepts and that ground floor of like what you need to start building wealth?
I never grew up talking about any of this. To this day, like, something I'm really interested in is inheritance. Like our generation is going to inherit the most amount of money that like has ever happened before. And so I've been like poking around with my parents because I really want to like make a course on that and create content on that. And it's like, it's still awkward for them to talk to me about it. Like that's not at all the culture that I was raised in, which you would think I was, because my dad works on Wall Street, works in finance, but I think he grew up with financial stress in his house, and so he never wanted to bring that into the house that he had, but it was also a very different time. I think, like, he had 3 daughters. My mom, like, came like, there was yeah, it was never discussed at all, and it really took me, in my early 20s, making a lot of financial mistakes, to wise up and say, "Hey, I really need to learn about this," and then in trying to learn, feeling really defeated by what was available to me to learn and uninspired. So creating my own financial media brand.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's common a bit in our generation. I know I have friends who have families with a lot of money, but still they're going to inherit a lot, but they don't know what an IRA is. They're still learning these basic things. So it's,
No, it
yeah,
doesn't matter. And it's like, even if you're getting $1,000 from your grandma, it's like your grandma could have never talked to you about money. And then you get $1,000 and you're like, what do I do with it?
right, right.
So, but we're in this golden age where it's more easier than ever to connect with people. And what I really hope is to uh like, just connect with people, because it's so fun to talk about money and to help people, and then also to inspire and to connect people to each other.
Yeah, I love it. We're starting to get some awesome questions rolling in here. So I'm going to start throwing some out. Alexandra asks, with regards to paying down debt, do you have any thoughts on debt consolidation, loans as a solution to reduce the interest you owe on a credit, on a credit card debt? So I think she means like personal loans, stuff like that. Any
So,
opinions on how to do that?
yeah, I think that there's a lot of awesome services to help bring down the interest rates. Obviously, if you have high interest rate debt, anything that's going to make your debt not be like 24% or whatever it is, like, is a win. It's hard, Alexandra, because I don't know your exact financial situation, so I can't give you specific advice. But what I would recommend is going in the 3 Comma Club, maybe writing a post. I can look at it and the community can look at it and we can weigh in. But I've seen a lot of success with these, and also even with private loans to pay off student debt.
Hmm.
I think that it can be a great option. And I
Cool.
know that it seems too good to be true, but it's not. As long as you're able to actually pay them back, then it is a great solution. But if it gets tricky if you feel like maybe you can't consistently pay you back, because then they really ding you.
Yeah. Well,
That's that.
no, the only thing I can say from personal experience, I've had good and bad personal loans, but I did one when I was 18 and just took 3 grand of it and put it in savings, thinking, oh, that's an emergency account, and didn't really go through the whole interest calculation and ended up paying the same thing I would have on the credit card. So just read the terms and agreement.
Read the terms, and also, like, get to know, like, I think that when you have debt, it's obviously so stressful, but first of all, just know that debt is the best teacher. People that I know that I've seen in my community, that I've worked with, who are like the most financially savvy, are the ones who have, like, gone through, not to say to get debt, but like, there is a positive to it, because it really puts you face to face with your finances and
Hmm.
forces you to, like, level up and to, like, make like, you're here in this webinar, like, that's amazing, you're already making these great steps. I would say also make sure you understand your full financial picture first, though, before you do anything impulsive, because oftentimes we just see the debt, but we don't really understand how much it costs to live our lives or anything like that. And so, take it one step at a time.
Hmm. Love it. I'm going to keep going with these questions here. Uh, Noel, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but which high yield savings account do you recommend? And also, do you just have a place with resources, any high
Yes.
yield savings account and stuff like that? Can you call that out?
So financeschool.com/money tools has literally a litany of different, like, everything you can need, every resource, from books to savings accounts to investments to just the community. Everything is on financeschool.com. So definitely hit that up. Um, I personally use Capital One. I'm not sponsored. But what I really like about them is that they let you have sub saving categories. And I find that when you have multiple savings accounts and are able to name your financial goals, it helps you stay really focused on them, and track your progress more. But here's the thing with high yield savings accounts, people always ask, which one do you recommend? And I do love Capital One, but there's so many that are great. So don't really worry so much about choosing the right one. A quick Google search will give you, maybe 5 options. Just bite the bullet, choose one, make sure that it's FDIC insured, that it has a competitive APY rate, and that you can make those sub accounts, and you'll be golden. There's not like a right answer here.
Right, right. It's
The,
mostly
right,
just
the wrong answer is not opening one.
right, right.
Yeah.
Love it. Um, Question coming in from Sophie. What is the best way to maximize the reach of money currently sitting in an online savings account? APY roughly 0.5%. Should I move it somewhere else if I don't immediately need it? So this is kind of within that same realm of a high yield savings.
Yeah, it sort of sounds
Yeah.
like you're asking, Sophie, if you should start investing, which we love. And the answer is yes, especially with women. We always just keep our money like sacked away, but we have to put it to work because you you don't want to work forever. You don't want to work 24 hours a day, but your money can work 24 hours a day for you, which rocks. And, you know, like proper language, it rocks. So Sophie, I don't know your financial situation. So I don't know, do you have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund saved? Is your high interest rate debt paid off? Are you maxing out your, Roth IRA contributions, getting your 401k match? If that's all happening and you're contributing to your 401k and you still have money left over, that's when we start investing. But the reason that's important to first make sure that you're getting the most out of those retirement accounts, it's not because I don't want you to be cool, because investing's cool. It's because putting money away for retirement is investing, but it's doing so in a way that's just tax advantaged. It's like literally Uncle Sam is the worst uncle of all time. He steals all of our money. And so we need to like take as much as we can, like under the table, and grow it for later in our lives. And that's what 401ks are good for. That's what Roths are good for. And that's what health savings accounts are good for, which only 6% of people actually invest the money in their health savings accounts, but it is low key better than a Roth and better than a 401k. So Sophie, I'd make sure that you have, in the course, we talk about your tiers of financial goals. Make sure you have all 3 tiers of your financial goals hit. And if they are, and you have money sitting in your online savings account that you're not using, then that's when we would invest it.
And quick question to clarify, health savings account, does that have to be done with an employer? Can that be done on your own?
Health savings accounts really just come with high deductible healthcare plans. So a lot of people obviously have healthcare from their employers, and that would be something that you could get from your employer. Actually, some employers even match health savings accounts, which is awesome.
Wow.
But you can also have them on your own, depending on what your healthcare is. But they're like low key hiding in plain sight, the best way ever to to invest for retirement, because the money that you put into your health savings account, because basically on just a health savings account aside, health savings accounts on paper just look like, okay, normal savings account. I'm just going to put my money in the savings account. They're going to send me a debit card. They're going to send me checks when I need to like go to the doctor or get a prescription. I'll use the debit card and it'll take from that account, and I'll be using tax-free money to pay for these expenses. Great. That's how 94% of the people use it. But 6% of people know that actually the best thing to do is not use your health savings account for healthcare expenses, and to just max out your contributions to it and invest it, because you are putting in money that is pre-tax, the same way that you would put money pre-tax in a 401k. Then the money is invested and growing. Wonderful. And then when you turn, and it's growing without taxes, no taxes. And then when you turn 65, the health savings account just becomes a regular retirement account, the same way like an IRA, a 401k is, or a Roth IRA is. So you can just, take it out and boom, you have all this money that's been growing in a really tax advantaged way. It's amazing. I
It's such a
normalize
hack. Yeah, it's a
normalize health savings accounts. Like that is a huge thing. We need to make that normal.
I think
Um,
a lot of people don't understand that
they don't,
that
well, because the
65
branding is so
conversion.
bad. The branding is
Yeah,
so bad. Because health savings account is literally like the most obvious term. Like you hear that and you
right,
totally
right.
get it. You're like, yeah, health savings account. So I put the money in the savings account and I use it for my health. But it's like, no, that's its name. But have you heard its nickname, which is the third of retirement account? You've heard of 401k, you've heard of IRA, but actually HSA. That's the third and it's the best.
Yeah. And sorry, there was just one more thing I wanted to call out because I just learned if you have a business, you can also do a SEP IRA as well
Oh
as
yeah.
your IRA, right?
Yeah, SEP IRAs are amazing. They those are for people with an LLC, or if you work for a small business, they'll sometimes give you a SEP IRA, and you can actually contribute more money to a SEP IRA than you could to like a Roth IRA. And they're a really great way to put money away for retirement. But like the whole goal, obviously, there's so much nitty gritty with like the different retirement accounts. But the big idea with them is just to understand like the concept of like, oh, I'm putting money away for the future and I'm doing so in a way that is tax advantaged.
Right.
And there are limits to how much I can put in these accounts. So let me make that my first financial goal, that I'm going to be hitting those limits. And then the moment that you hit all those limits on all those accounts, you get to think bigger and think, okay, well, do I want to save for a house? Am I, investing in the stock market? Am I interested in NFTs, cryptos? Like then you get to be more creative, but like it's sort of relaxing, I think, like with like personal finance, because like up into a certain point it's like very prescriptive,
Right.
like there's not a right or a wrong answer. It's like that is the right answer. I mean, there is a right or a wrong answer. There's not like a gray area.
Right.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know, that was a
Uh,
tangent.
yeah, but it's so awesome just to see there's all of these resources and the
Yes.
only like totally wrong thing to do is just not to use them, right? That's
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
and but it's hard to take action, and that's why I think it's so
right.
important to like have community, to ask questions, to like try and educate yourself as much as you can, and then also just to do it. Like that's why in the course we say just 20 minutes a day, because like if you have 20 minutes a day that is dedicated to your finances, you could use that to read about a side hustle you want to start. You could use that to open your IRA account. Like there's so much that you can do to build this part of your life, because we're never taught to build it.
Right.
So you got to start now. So why not like have this time, this dedicated time that you can use to really enhance it?
Yeah. Yeah. We cruising? You mind if we do a couple more questions here?
Oh, I'm ready. Sorry. I thought you
Yeah.
said Kirsten. I was like, who's
Oh,
Kirsten?
cruising. Are we cruising?
Kirsten, yeah. I think we're
No,
good
I
here.
got.
No, we can do it.
Danielle is asking, what are your biggest budgeting tips for everyday money management? So I guess a little more the like daily grind. You get money, it goes out. Are you big on budgeting? Are you not a fan of that? I know it's a tumultuous topic in the financial world these days.
No, I'm all like, for me, like my biggest budgeting tip is automation.
Mm,
Like automating where, like after your paycheck hits your bank account, automating the deposits to everywhere that it should go. So like rent, utilities, contributing to your retirement accounts, like, emergency fund, whatever, so that the money that you have left over in your savings account, in your checking account each month, is just the money that you can have fun with. Um, and then I think that gives you like a lot more choice. The thing that I think
mm,
is hard about budgeting is like, if you say, okay, every month I'm going to spend $100 on the movies. What if there's a month that you don't want to go to the movies? Like
yeah,
I'd rather have you have that amount, that lump sum, and be able to decide, okay, I really want to go to this like fancy dinner. Okay, so that'll take like maybe, 10% of that money or whatever it is, and then be able to allocate the rest of it as you choose. But I think automation is definitely an amazing budgeting tip. I also, this is random, but like I live in New York City. I work all the time, and like it can be hard with eating, like ordering in can totally become a thing if you're not watching it. And I find like making a plan of what I'm going to be eating is really helpful. Uh,
Mhm.
like this weekend, my best friend is visiting me, and I know that we have like, dinner out and a brunch and like all this stuff. So it's like this week, I'm being really cheap. Like
Right, right.
I'm making my meals like just because I want to be able to like shamelessly enjoy myself when we're together
Mhm.
and not have to worry. So it's really all about balance. But you know what? I would love to hear budgeting tips from you guys. Like put them in the comments or come to the Three Comma Club and let us know what they are. Um, but yeah, I think that is big. Just making it so you know how much you can spend in all and then going from there. And also focusing on budgeting, but also focusing on making more money. Like
Right,
people focus so
right.
much on cutting corners and, counting pennies, but it's like there is a floor to how much you can cut, but there is no floor to how much you can make. And so I would so much rather, instead of you cut coupons, you think about, okay, how can I fit in like a side hustle into my, my life now? Or like, what can I do to bring in extra income? Like, I want you to have a growth mentality.
Yeah. Well, someone told me 2 years ago, "I don't have a savings problem, I have an income problem."
Yes.
And that blew my mind though, because I was always shaming myself for not saving or doing this, and then just realizing, no,
You
I need
don't have
a
enough money.
hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't have, and it's not like that much more I needed to make, but rather than going, I need to trim down, it's like, no, how do you boost up? What can you do well? What are all of this? But yeah, I can't speak enough to that mentality.
Oh, 100%.
Patisa, again, sorry if I mispronounce, is asking, what's a good small business account to open? I'm assuming it's like a business bank account. Do you have any recommendations for that? It doesn't make much of a difference, or what's your
I
take?
I mean, I use Chase. I like them a lot. I would like I think that like for a good small business account to open, you really just want to go somewhere that like doesn't have so many fees and that you can start building credit with, like with my Chase, they gave me like didn't really like have a credit card before that, but like then I got my Chase preferred whatever card and it really helped me boost up my credit and like learn how while I was opening my business. So I personally use Chase, but I'm sure that people have other recommendations. I honestly haven't switched in a while because it's been great. But yeah, I
Cool.
do I do my banking with them. And
Cool.
then I
Uh,
have Capital One for my high yield savings accounts.
right, right, right.
But like I use Ally Bank. Like there's so many good places now. That's what I'm saying is like we don't have to stress so much about like what the right one is. It's just about doing like a little bit of research, understanding the landscape, and being like, okay, well, they all seem sort of the same or ish. So let me just make the plunge here because better to start than to wait.
and it all seems pretty competitive now, right? Just
Exactly.
so
They're
long as
all
it's FDIC insured, like
exactly
here.
like I saw today, like I think it was Capital One that removed like late fees and stuff like that.
Mm.
And Bank of America now is removing them too. So it's like,
Right, everyone's.
like they're everyone is like trying to keep up with the other person. Like it's so competitive. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, just make
Love
sure
it.
it's FDIC insured. That's super important.
Right. Got one more question here from Stacy, and then we'll have to wrap up. But what is, hearkening back a little bit to what we spoke, what is more beneficial, an IRA or an HSA? You can also have both, though, right?
Yeah, you can have both. I love HSAs, but obviously I would prefer for you to have both. And yeah,
Cool.
but I
Yeah.
sort of think HSA. And then also Liv said, can I just say this one? Never pay for food, groceries, eating out, etc. with your credit card, only buy food with your debit card. I know that this is like a thing that people love to use debit cards, but it's so important to build credit. So it actually works to your advantage to use your credit card where you can, where you would use your debit card, because then you earn rewards, can travel with those, you get bonuses. And when you use your debit card, you are missing out. Of course, that is a difficult thing to say to people who struggle with, credit card debt. But I think that if you're able to use it within limits, it's actually a great option. Credit cards are awesome.
Yeah, I I on encouragement from a friend put my debit card in a lockbox like a year and a half ago.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, and I only used my credit card, and at first it was terrifying because I was always bad with credit cards, but
Oh, really?
I wasn't bad with credit cards. I was bad with a credit card and a debit card in my wallet.
Yeah. And you were
With
also,
the
oh, you mean because you
when
were,
I had both, because I
so
would
you
just
look at the
spend
debit card as like your money and then the credit card is just like whatever?
I would look at the credit card as like for bigger expenses.
Mm.
And so I would use that for I'm a musician, so if I bought a guitar, I would use that. But then I just thought, "Oh, and then you pay it off slowly and you deal with the interest." And then I would use the debit card, but then the credit card bill would come and I wouldn't have enough money to pay the full bill because I had been using my debit card. Where now, when I use the credit card, it's one thing I track. And I
Yeah, the
know
credit
every
cards,
month
I love
my
a credit
whole
card.
spendings. Yeah, so it's not for everyone, but I can just speak to that like compiling my finances to one output where I've also just gotten a ton of miles too, like really helped
Yeah.
me. I
But
know
also,
it's
like,
not for
when you
everyone,
go to
but
when you go to, like, rent a house or buy a house, you need good credit. Like, there's
right.
so many, like, things in society that, like, you still need good credit to do. And so, as much as you can, using your credit card in a safe way is a good call. But obviously, in no way am I condoning, like, having too much fun with it.
Right, right, right.
Yes.
And I know I said one more, but I think this is a great question just to relieve some confusion. Nyla asks, "What are your thoughts on having money in a credit union account versus a bank? Does it make a difference? Do you have any opinion on that?"
Do you use a credit union account?
I personally do.
Oh, really? So why do you use it?
Uh, I might switch soon because I just moved states, but where I was in Washington and Seattle, I switched to a credit union when there was a lot of huffing and puffing about banks and Chase and Bank of America and screw them and screw this. So we all went to BECU, which at the time was a small company and then now is probably as big as any bank. So did we really do anything? I don't know. But
So
I just haven't changed for 10 years.
yeah,
That's the only reason I'm with a yeah,
I mean, I think with like credit unions have so much going for them, like, lower fees or like some usually a better interest rates, better customer service. But like with a bank, you the technology is better because they're for profit. So like they'll have like a dope mobile app and like online technology that's more advanced. More branches, ATMs, things like that. And so it's really about like what matters to you most. I don't think one is better than the other. But it really, and it's also sort of cool, like if are really active in the credit union that you're part of, like, are you voting in it? Like, are you, like really using your membership to your advantage and like having a say? So I'm not against credit unions at all. But I think that it's just important to like look at who you are and like, what you're getting out of it.
right. Uh, love it. We do have to wrap up for time here, but thank you everyone so much for asking your questions and just being engaged and involved. Thank you, Haley. It's been a delight to have you here and to
Yeah.
answer all of these questions. If you enjoyed this event, please like and subscribe to the Discover channel. We're trying to consistently bring more creators, intellectuals, teachers like Haley out here to help us all grow in our finance, our passions, our business. Just become better. I know as we look to 2022, we're all just trying to level up in so many ways as we get used to the world as it is. So appreciate your time helping us do that. And please also hop in the comments and just thank Haley for her time here and for her expertise. Before we wrap up, I do like to just ask a little kind of summary question for anyone who's
Sorry.
trying to get their, oh, no problem. Gesundheit. Um, for anyone whether they've started the journey or they just know that they want to get their finances together going into this year, do you have like one actionable piece of advice they can do today, tomorrow when they wake up to kickstart that journey and get the momentum going? Because I know once that momentum's going, everything gets so much easier.
Oh my God, yeah, the momentum is everything. I would start by tomorrow trying to wake up. Like, I am a big morning person. Try and wake up a little bit earlier and just take that 20 minutes, 10 minutes that you have to work on those low hanging fruit that have been like bugging you,
Mm,
and then those actions will compound. So, like, say you're like really behind on going through all of your your mail that is from like financial institutions, go through those. And then, the next day, oh, you did that yesterday. So, what can you do today? Oh, well, maybe I should sign up for a high yield savings account. Okay, cool. So you're going to sign up for your high yield savings account. Oh, wait, but I'm not really sure how much I should put in it, what the vibe is here. I think I need more information. Oh, maybe I should take a course. Maybe I'll start here with Haley. Like, you want to split it into little small events in your life instead of making it this big mountainous issue that you have to fear and then avoid.
right, right. Appreciate that so much. And one more time, where can people find you if they want to learn more or reach out?
Financescool.com. All of my socials are on there, all of our resources, the course, everything is on there. I also have an amazing YouTube channel with so much information. TikTok, Instagram, we're everywhere. But yeah, I'm rooting for all of you. I hope this is your best year yet. Let's secure that bag. Let's get rich and let's support each other.
Love it. Thank you once again, Haley. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you all soon. Have a
See
wonderful
you
day.
soon. Bye bye.
Bye.